We're standing at a really wild moment in history, a point where artificial intelligence isn't just in our phones or helping us write emails anymore. Nope, it's on the battlefield. In this explainer, we're going to dive into how AI is completely rewriting the rules of war and what that might mean for every single one of us. You know that famous line, right? War. War never changes. It's classic. But what if I told you that it is changing right now? And it's happening faster than any of us can really wrap our heads around. We're talking about the rise of autonomous AI robots, drones, and fighter jets. For decades, the idea of AI dogfighting was pure science fiction. But just look at this timeline. It's insane. In 2020, AI was already wiping the floor with experienced F-16 pilots in simulations. Just 2 years after that, it was controlling planes in the real world. And then, by 2023, the US Air Force confirmed it, a live dogfight between an AI-controlled F-16 and a human pilot. The speed of this is just staggering. Okay, so that last point, the live dogfight, that's not just another step. That is a monumental leap. So let's break down exactly what went down in that test, because believe me, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening. The details here are just mind-blowing. So an AI agent flew this experimental X-62A jet out in California, and it wasn't just flying in circles. It was engaging in aggressive, head-on, nose-to-nose dogfights. They were getting as close as 2,000 feet from each other, pulling maneuvers at 1,200 miles an hour. And here's the kicker. Over 21 test flights, the human safety pilot in the cockpit never, not once, had to take over. The AI had it completely under control. So this begs a really important question, right? If this stuff is real and it's moving this fast, who on earth is actually building it? Well, the answer is a whole new generation of tech entrepreneurs. You've got venture capital firms just pouring billions into defense tech, creating this new kind of founder. They've even got a nickname, the Gundo Bros, kind of a mix of gun and the Silicon Valley bro culture. And they're building these military startups with that classic tech mindset, move fast and break things. And if there's one person at the absolute center of this whole movement, it's a very colorful, and let's be honest, very controversial guy named Palmer Luckey. You might know that name. He's the billionaire kid who founded Oculus VR. Well, now, he's the face of a huge defense company called Andorral. And he is not shy about his mission at all. Luckey's whole pitch is that AI can make weapons both way more terrifying to our enemies and, at the same time, more ethical. Now, that is a provocative thing to say, and it cuts right to the heart of this entire debate. As you can imagine, saying things like that has made him a lightning rod for criticism. Tech investor Jason Calacanis, for one, has had some, let's just say some very choice words for him over the years. These kinds of attacks just show you how polarizing this whole new defense tech scene is, even within Silicon Valley itself. But let's actually try to unpack Luckey's philosophy. He argues that most wars happen because both sides kind of mess up the math and think they can win. So in his view, the whole point of a super advanced, high-tech defense industry is deterrence. It's to make it so blindingly obvious who would win that nobody's foolish enough to even start the fight. And this gets us back to that really complex, kind of uncomfortable claim about ethics. Can a weapon actually be made more moral by using artificial intelligence? How does that even work? Well, Luckey uses this question to really make his point. He's challenging our basic assumptions. Think about an old-school landmine. It's dumb. It's completely indiscriminate. It has no idea if it's a school bus or a tank that's about to trigger it. So he asks, is that really the more ethical weapon? Let's just break it down into two scenarios. You've got the dumb weapon, which is basically a tool of pure chance and collateral damage. Then you have the smart weapon, which could, in theory, be incredibly precise. For Luckey, this precision is the key. The goal is to create a weapon so terrifyingly accurate that an enemy knows you can take out their tanks and jets with almost zero risk to civilians, making the cost of starting a war just way too high. And this all leads to the most difficult question of all. Most people believe in having a human in the loop, that a person must always be the one to make the final kill decision. But Luckey pushes back on that hard. He basically argues that by insisting on a human, we might be preventing ourselves from using systems that are so precise they would actually end up saving more lives than any human operator ever could. It's a tough pill to swallow. So, the debate around lethal AI is obviously super intense, but it's also just one part of a much bigger story. While some people, like Luckey, are laser-focused on perfecting AI for combat, others are asking a way more fundamental question. what is this thing we're actually creating? And is its only purpose really just to build scarier weapons?
To get a different take on all this, we have to look way beyond the battlefield. Some of the leading thinkers in AI are thinking about it not as a weapon, but as something, well, something much more profound, like a new kind of digital life form that we have to learn how to manage.
For a complete contrast, just look at something like Midjourney. It's a text-to-image AI that is all about creativity. You can type in literally anything you can imagine: a cat samurai, a crab wielding a sword, a joyous robot floating in ecstasy, and it spits out these beautiful, strange, sometimes hilarious pieces of art. It is truly the other side of the AI coin.
And don't think for a second this is just a toy. Midjourney is a massive business, on track to pull in $200 million a year. The commercial and cultural drive to build creative AI is every bit as powerful as the military one.
And this brings us to another key voice in this conversation, Mustafa Suleiman. He co-founded DeepMind. Now he's the CEO of Microsoft AI. He offers this really powerful way to think about it. We should see AI as a new digital species, not just a tool, but something with its own potential to act.
Suleiman says AIs are getting near perfect IQ and even great EQ, or emotional intelligence. But the real game changer is what he calls AQ, or actions quotient. This is an AI's ability to actually get stuff done in the real world. Think about an AI that can't just write an email for you, but can book your flights, negotiate a better hotel price, and schedule all your meetings on its own. That's AQ. And that's what turns AI from a passive tool into an active agent.
So the crucial thing is how we manage this new reality. And Suleiman has another brilliant analogy for this. He says in the past, when we discovered new continents, we basically just plundered their resources. But with AI, we're not discovering a continent, we are building one from scratch. And that means we have a shot to get it right from the very beginning.
To do that, he lays out some critical safety rules we have to follow. First, we have to be extremely careful with how we grant it autonomy. Second, we have to prevent these models from being able to improve themselves over and over again without any human oversight. And maybe the biggest one of all, we must prohibit them from ever being able to copy themselves.
And this is actually a kind of hopeful thought. Suleiman argues that these truly dangerous things, like self-replication, they won't just pop up by accident. It's not inevitable. They will only exist if engineers deliberately build them into the system, or if we fail to deliberately keep them out. The choice, right now, is still ours. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. We're standing at the dawn of a completely new world, one we get to build from the ground up. The choices we make right now about defense, about creativity, and about safety, they're going to define the future. So, as we build this thing, what are the rules going to be? That's something we all need to start thinking about.